everyone. Good afternoon. You're watching Market Fatafat on ET now with me, Mubina Kapasi. It's a very strong bounce that we are seeing on the Nifty as well as the Sensex. Nifty gaining 254 points. We're just a couple of points away from those budget day highs. Sensex 855 points now and counting. So yes, I think the markets are at the day's high. And yes, the mid and the small caps as well are joining into this rally. Though, mind you, not with so much fervor because we have gains of about 1.2% on the mid-cap index, which is a little more sober compared to the 2% gains on the benchmarks. The small-cap index is gaining approximately 1.8%. And on the Nifty 50, we literally just have 4 losers, mostly from the auto space. Bajaj Auto and Eicher Motors are among your 2 losers, along with an HUL, which saw very sharp gains yesterday, but today it's cooling off a little. Yes, Bank as well is down by 2.4%. But otherwise, IOC, Bajaj, Finserv, Hero Moto, Infratel, all of them are big gainers. Let me introduce then our technical expert for today, Manav Chopra of India Bulls Ventures. We're also joined by Soumya and Vinny from our research desk. Afternoon, everyone. And Manav, let's kickstart the show with you first, talking about one of the benchmarks that's really bouncing back and how that's the Nifty Bank, a 660-point rally here. What are you observing in this index?
The Bank Nifty has observed a very strong bounce from its important oversold levels, and most importantly, today being a gap up day, we did not see any selling pressure coming. In fact, there was a series of upward swing rally that was witnessed on the intraday. I think more or less it was backed by a good amount of short covering. In fact, on the day of the budget, there was aggressive call writing was witnessed at 30,800 to 30,600 strike, and there is a good amount of unwinding that has happened, and also aggressive call writing has been witnessed today. So I sense, at least in the near term, on the lower side, the markets should hold to its important support of 30,300 levels and has formed a short-term base. Whereas on the upside, we could see some sort of this rally to continue, but the maximum upside that we see is close to 31,200.
Okay, so Manav is bullish on the Nifty Bank. Moving on, let's talk about Bajaj Auto. We have the Jan sale numbers that have been released. And like I said, Bajaj Auto is one of those few losers today seen on the Nifty, along with maybe an HUL and an Eicher Motors, which we will flag off as well in just a bit. Yeah, sales are down by 3%. But yes, a lot of these auto companies have been resorting to exports, and for them exports are higher by 15%, but overall sales have declined 3%. I suppose partly also because of the fall seen in domestic sale numbers. Do remember, even Hero Motocorp, again in the two-wheeler space, did not exactly deliver a great Jan sale number. And yes, Bajaj Auto as well has unfortunately faced the same fate. Stock down 3%, 3187 rupees right now. Okay, Soumya, why are you flagging off Thyrocare today?
Well, after those stellar set of numbers, we did see the stock rallying close to about 13% yesterday, and in fact, it's actually continuing the upward trajectory, gaining close to about 6%. In fact, we also have a very positive note from Goldman. They're maintaining their buy stance in the stock with the target price of 700. Well, they say that margin momentum offsets the softer volumes, and in fact, from current levels, they see 25% upside to the revised target price around 700 rupees per share. So, a bullish note by Goldman plus stellar set of results, and the stock's gaining close today, gaining close to about 6% today.
Yeah, that it is 636 rupees for a Thyrocare. And Vinny, what a move seen in Shriram Transport. Solid pricing action. What is the third quarter number looking like?
Mubina, a very strong set of third quarter numbers. We are seeing an NII at in line, and it stands at around, it's up by around 1.36%, while the profits have also improved considerably and up by 39% on 39%. Now let's look at the asset quality of the company. On a QOQ basis, the asset quality has also remained stable, so that is also a very positive sign. And the gross non-performing asset stands at 8.71% for the quarter. Now, the AUM growth is at 4%, which is led mainly by used vehicle financing and working capital loans. So positive sign there, and provisions of the company have remained stable on a QOQ basis. So this is the reason we are seeing a strong up move in the stock, 9% up as of now. So a very strong move in the stock, Mubina.
Yeah, 1079 rupees for Shriram Transport, 9.2% higher. Okay, we've had another set of results that have just been released, and that's Piramal Enterprises. Look at the way the stock spiked immediately after the first number hit the exchanges, and consequently ET now sticker. A sharp spike seen all the way to 1434 rupees on an intraday basis. Revenue grew by about 400 crores, so almost an 11% rise, or growth rather, seen 3,800 crore rupees. The profit after tax as well surged on the back of that at 724 crore rupees versus 602 crore rupees. So that's of course Piramal Enterprises for you. Come off a tad bit from that 1434 intraday high hit after the third quarter numbers were released. Manav, Dr. Reddy's, it's another day aided, of course, by the market move that we are seeing an uptick come by, and DRL has been seeing a bit of a strong chart of late. What's your view?
True. In fact, we have witnessed a good price and volume breakout today on the intraday charts, and it has been backed by good amount of volumes. In fact, there has also been a good amount of open interest addition, which confirms the continuation of the uptrend. Since the prices are also trading above its key averages, I sense this momentum rally would continue on the upside. There is an important support for the stock around the levels of 3,200 and maintain a buy on dips approach. We expect an upside rally to rally close to the levels of 3,320, which is our target price.
Okay, again, Dr. Reddy's is something that Manav is betting on. His target is 3,320 rupees. All right, Soumya, Tata Power, I think it had just recently released their third quarter numbers. What are brokerages making of it?
Mubina, in fact, this one has snapped a 3-day of losing streak and today is up in green now. In fact, incidentally, we have this note by Goldman which says that there are various catalysts lined up for Tata Power, and however, the timing still remains in an uncertain zone. The debt has reduced across most of the core businesses, which is a positive when it comes to Tata Power, and there is a potential turnaround of Mundra, which is a key catalyst for Tata Power. And as a result of all of this, they're maintaining their buy stance on the stock with a target price of 73 rupees per share.
Okay, 2.4% higher for Tata Power's. Goldman Sachs has a buy. Vinny, Honeywell Automation, we don't flag off this company very often, but today's stock price movement does really warrant a mention. What exactly has the trigger been for this 14% rise in the stock?
Mubina, the trigger is very well the Q3 numbers. Now, we are seeing a revenue stand at around 900 crores versus 811 crores, which is up 11%. But let's look at the profits. It's up around 70% on a year-on-year basis. It stands at 144 crores versus 85 crores. Now, the margins have also seen around 600 to 700 basis point improvement on a year-on-year basis, and it stands at 21% versus 14.6%. So, a very strong set of numbers by Honeywell Automation. And thus we are seeing a very strong uptick in the stock today, Mubina.
Yeah, 31,500 for this MNC. Today's volume activity as well is quite high, as you can see on your screens. 13,800 shares traded today. Shalby Hospitals, on the flip side, is certainly seeing red as investors have dumped the stock post it delivered its third quarter numbers. Degrowth on the top line as well as on the bottom line. The consolidated net profit has actually come in down 39% at 8 crore rupees versus 13 crore rupees. The sales, meantime, rose 7%, 120 crore rupees. But again, nothing that really impressed the street. There's been a big fall in the stock price of Shalby Hospitals. We'll try and connect with the management as well and see if they would have a reaction, what caused this sort of a degrowth on the bottom line, and sort of understand that if this is something that investors should really be perturbed about. But for now, they definitely are. 7.5% gone on a Shalby Hospitals just in today's trading session. All right, and Manav, another stock meantime that continues to gain is Nestle India. Your view here, already at record high.
Absolutely. In fact, the prices have been in a very good uptrend. Recently, there has been a swing breakout where the prices have managed to exceed its recent swing high. And since then, there has been a very strong positive follow-on move. Since the overall trend is bullish and the prices too are in a very strong momentum, it has an important support at the levels of 16,200 to 16,100 for a short-term basis, which is likely to act as a cushion in case of any decline. So we still recommend buying at the current levels, and on the upside we could see a short-term rally which is likely to be extended. We have an upside target of close to 17,200 on a short-term basis.
Okay, that's Manav's view on a Nestle India, which certainly has been seeing a rally. I suppose you could attribute it to the whole dividend distribution policy, the DDT that was nixed by FMC Thiraman on Saturday. All right, well, on that note, we will slip into a break, but don't go anywhere. We'll be back with a countdown of the top movers and shakers on Market Fatafat. Welcome back. You're watching Market Fatafat on ET. Now, let's just talk about some third quarter numbers that have just been released. Punjab National Bank and absolute disaster on the NPA front. Though, mind you, there has been a bit of a recovery, but still stays in double digits. But loss figure of 490 crore rupees is where the company has come in on its bottom line for the third quarter. This versus a profit after tax in the corresponding quarter. Now, like I said, the NPA continues to stay in double digits, but it's eased off a little bit from the previous quarter. So, from 16.76%, it's now come in at about 16.3%. On the absolute gross NPA fund as well, gross NPA number as well, it's at 76,809 crore rupees. But I suppose this coming off from those highs is nothing to celebrate about as such, because the numbers still are pretty perturbing. And there's also that loss figure on the bottom line, despite the fact that the provisions have come off. I'm just going to check if there's anything in particular that has caused this loss figure to come in. Okay, I have the provision figure as well over here. Provisions other than taxes and contingencies, and I think there lies the culprit. I have the provision figure, which is at 4,445 crore rupees versus 3,253 crore rupees. This is, of course, the provision for non-performing assets. So, yeah, that's the correct number, 4,445 crore rupees. A sharp rise versus the previous quarter, and I suppose that could be a reason why you have, the bottom line churning out a loss versus a profit after tax, not only in the corresponding quarter, but in the previous quarter as well. And, as you can see on your screens, we have the management as well of PNB just about sitting down now. So yeah, that's the overall provision figure, by the way. And okay, let's just cut across then to the PNB management.
Deposits have shown a healthy growth of 9.4% over year on year, taking the position at the end of December 19 to 6,89,696 crores. Similarly, the CASA has shown a growth of 10.2%, and the CASA has grown to 3,01,735 as at the end of December 2019. CASA share has also improved to 43.74%. Gross credit has stood at 4,71,356 crores. Retail loans have shown a growth of 13.6%. Within the retail loans, inter alia, housing segment has shown a growth of 20.4%. There has been a growth of 21.4% in operating profit. The gross NPA has gone down to 16.3 sequentially, if we compare with the earlier figure of 16.76, and the net NPA has got reduced to 7.18 sequentially compared to 7.65. Similarly, the provision coverage ratio has also improved to 75.27%. And if we look at the provisions, what we have done this time.
Okay, I was just talking about the provisions, but yeah, the stock took a bit of a dip and rebound with the equal amount of swiftness in just a couple of seconds from there. Let's continue with our countdown. Soumya, Manappuram Finance, what's the ET now exclusive there?
Well, Mubina, in fact, this one saw 3.77 crore of shares getting traded in the block deal in the earlier part of the trading session, and let me tell you, this amounts to 4.5% of the equity. Well, we do not really know for confirmed who are the buyers and the sellers, but what we gather from our sources is Baring has sold 5% stake in Manappuram as of today, and in fact, this has brought down their stake from 8.7% to now would be reduced by over 5%. In fact, JP Morgan was the sole broker to this deal, and there have been a clutch of investors who have actually taken a stake, which includes MF's FIIs, which have participated in the block deal. But as of now, we really do not know who are the buyers and sellers. Let's wait for the bulk data details as of evening, which will get us a clarity on who the buyers and sellers are.
Okay, so yes, let's wait. It's later in the evening that we will know who the buyers and sellers are of, the Manappuram block deal that took place earlier. But yeah, our sources say it's barring. Vinny, meantime, look at GSK Pharma at 12% crack seen today in trade. What's the trigger?
Now a very weak set of numbers by GSK Pharma. Now the revenue is down by 5.6%. It stands at 7,700 crores versus 825 crores on a year-on-year basis. Now let's look at the loss figure, which is at around 644 crores versus the profit of 113 crores last time. Now we are seeing an exceptional loss of 754 crores in Q3. This is why, our loss figure is also very high compared to if you compare it on a YOY basis. Now what has impacted the company? The recent decision, initiated by, globally to voluntary call back the ranitidine drug product. So, this has impacted GSK Pharma really badly this quarter. So, that is something we will keep an eye out for.
Okay, ranitidine. Vinny, that's the drug I suppose you're talking about. But yeah, 12% gone for GSK Pharma. And Manav, anything that you would like to observe in an IGL?
Yes, in fact, these prices have been in a strong uptrend. Recently, we have seen a short-term consolidation. In spite of such volatility in the markets, the prices are still holding to its important support levels. And since it has also bounced from its important support, I think keeping the trend intact, we still expect this trend to see a strong momentum rally on the upside. There are important support at the levels of 500 on the lower side, and one can maintain a stop loss below 500 for an upside target of 560.
Okay, very quickly moving on then, let's talk about an SRF Limited. It's been quite a steady mover. But yeah, now that the third quarter results are out, stock is taking a bit of a breather. Revenue weak, only 2.3% of gains, but the margins have expanded by a good 400 basis points at 21.8%. Profit after tax, on account of perhaps that and some below the line items, has doubled to 343 crore rupees. But stock price is a bit somber, 1.3% gone. And Manav, Tata Elxsi, anything that you'd like to recommend over here on this stock?
In fact, the prices today, after a good consolidation move that was witnessed since past 2 weeks, have seen a strong breakout today on the daily charts, and the volumes are also above its 20-day average volumes. Since the price is also trading above its key moving averages, I sense this breakout is likely to hold and would see a strong momentum rally, at least in the near-term perspective. The important support for the stock is placed at 1,000 levels on the lower side, which will now act as an important support, which was the previous resistance level. Since the trend is still intact, we expect a strong momentum rally, and our near-term targets for the stock is close to 1120 levels.
Okay, well, on that note, we're out of time. So Manav, Vinny and Samya, thank you for joining in. We'll wrap it up. Stay tuned for closing trades.